what's going to end up happening is what's going to happen anyway is they're going to leave Theadrop and post it on Open Theta for sales or someplace else. So then why are they nuking their site to justify, JSanch and Popper, and the rest of the Get Along gang, so they could, get what they want? I like how Popper's silent this whole time.
We've had this conversation too many times, and
okay,
your head's too thick.
Papa's popping and locking, Magnum scrutinizing. Papa Mags Podcast.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to episode 38 of the Papa Mags Podcast. Mags, we're up to 257 days since we've been told it'll be a few weeks until we can get our NFTs off of Theadrop, and Papa Mags still stuck on Theadrop.
Serious question. Are we gonna hit the under or the over for 365?
That's a great question. At this point, I think smart money's on the over.
Okay.
But who knows? We'll see. We'll see.
The sharps coming in heavy on the over?
I think if they're not there already, they will be soon.
Okay. All right.
But,
so,
it makes me wonder. I know we got to be coming in close to this 3-week deadline that the Tygons had given for staking. So we might need to take a little look into this and see if a count up is necessary.
Okay. We have some of our best people on it then.
Yeah, we'll get our assistant on it.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, so kind of let's start by following up with last week. I feel like we jumped in the pool and made a few waves last week with this whole rarity situation with Open Theta and Theadrop. Maybe not. Maybe it's just in my opinion. Maybe it's a little mud puddle that I threw a rock in. But so I did happen to notice that Open Theta, the Tygons asked them to drop the rarity tags off of the project. Did you see that?
I did.
Yeah, I think that was the right move. To be honest, I'm surprised that it was allowed in the first place.
We're so side note, but also on the same note, were you and Theta having a discussion about this?
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could shed some light on it, because you guys were going hot and heavy on that thing.
Well, I mean, I don't think that the rarity is a good one. I mean, it seems to me like people need to set up their projects in order to make this rarity make sense, right? It's like a one size fits all type of thing. Whereas, that's not how projects were set up. Did you see the Zilla that I posted? That blue one with the back with the hat and the blue scales
and the banana?
And the banana, yeah. And the
I saw that
polish.
one.
So that's the number one ranked Zilla in this Open Theta ranking system. And I don't agree with that whatsoever. The ranking system that originally had it was like 115 or something. It's definitely rare. It's got a lot of rare attributes, but it's not number one.
Well, so one thing too is, correct me if I'm wrong, the rarity is for what's minted. Is that correct or no?
For Open Theta, I'm not sure. I'm not.
I just haven't seen anything over like 5,000 or so.
Okay, so you're probably right.
So that's one consideration, because that's not the final one. I mean, you might have. I don't know if you helped or you worked with Zilla on the rarities for when they came out. So there's a spreadsheet. So
exactly.
we know what's coming out. We physically can't see it, but it's not rocket surgery to figure out.
Right. Yeah.
There's that one. I had one drop from 12 to 16 or increase. Like it went lower. It's not terrible, but
which could happen
for the Theta Zillas. But I had 4 other ones get dropped into the top 100 from ones I've had, like ones I've already had. So now I have 5 in the top 100, which sounds insane.
Wow.
For Theta Zillas, and none were that close before.
Yeah, I mean, I just even going from 115 to 1, you can look at all the other ones that are already out there, like some of these ones with the atomic breath and the laser eyes and the drum sets, and it's like, if that one is really more rare than the others, then it was just set up wrong. but going by a more standard ranking system that judges each attribute as its own island, then the original rankings were done properly, and this one isn't. And I just don't. I haven't seen a collection where they've done it right, because even when you look at Theta Punks, they're doing a better job than the original, but it's still not good. Like, you got all the aliens and the monkeys, and they're all way down in ranking. The zombies, like, it doesn't account for them properly. So I just don't see. I mean, you have to take this thing into consideration prior to making your project to make the rarity system work, right? The rarity system should bend for the project.
I guess I don't know where I stand. I mean, I'm not a fan of those ratings for the same reasons you're saying. But
they just haven't worked on any of them, right? They didn't work on the dragons.
They definitely didn't work on the dragons. Someone needs to go back to the drawing board on that one. But I guess what I'm saying is, if this is kind of the way, well, one, I could have sworn I remember seeing this thing on NFT collections, and it was all ETH NFTs, and there was some different rarity sites, and some of them had the top 5. Some of the stuff was the same, but some of it was different for the Bored Apes, and some other stuff. Was changed. So I don't know if that is somehow a tweaked algorithm or whatever. But basically, the rarity is only as rare as, well, one, you think it and someone's going to buy it for, maybe, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
But I think I like the way that Mac did Pineapple Rarity back in the day, and
absolutely,
and how and I like how what is it, Theta Rarity does it now. So So I guess. And that's a way we're doing it. I mean, if there was more rarity places to come up, you know what I mean? I think that's fine having that rarity, but take that with a grain of salt, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it just boils down to the point of personal preference should outweigh rarity rankings,
right.
Because at the end of the day, if somebody wants something and one place has it ranked 1,000, the other place has it ranked 50, they're going to want it because they want it, not because of open rarity saying it's rare.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So I agree with that.
And also, to follow up, Theta Rarity is now MetaMask wallet enabled, right? So now it's not just the custodial, although it did seem like he was pushing the custodial still for some reason. Not sure why anyone would do that. But you can use MetaMask on there. So yes, you incur a 0.03 T-Fuel fee for listing your NFTs on the site versus 0 for giving him access to your NFTs, basically through a custodial wallet. But I think I'll take the what's 0.3 of T-Fuel, a penny. I'll take my chances on paying the penny to list my stuff and keep the keys. So.
Yeah, and then two with that, go back to our discussion. The reason why I don't think I don't know, I just don't like how it looked on Open Theta with their rarity stuff. One, because I didn't like those rankings, and two, it just seems weird when the ranking place is also the sell-in place. I just think that's weird. I don't, I think, like you said, I think they should be separate. But
yeah, I think it worked separately, but
I know we didn't factor into this. I thought we did into this conversation, despite bringing it up on our low-rated Pinecast, but we weren't even mentioned, me, you, or Theta Club in that response. Was it VMUC that put out about about that whole thing?
See it until somebody mentioned that we weren't invited. So that's. You miss all the parties you're not invited to.
Write it down. Sheriff Popper, Magnum Pineapple, and Theta Club not going to make it.
We already knew that.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's talk about pineapples here. I don't know. Did you see the? I thought it was pretty decent news that dropped this week. Did you happen to see 2 of our favorite projects holding hands?
Yeah, I know. I'm just waiting. That? How about it a lot, right? The Imagine Replay.
Yeah.
Looked like they're now doing something with the pineapples, and there's going to be an airdrop for pineapple holders.
Yeah, I'm assuming we're looking at what, a pine tato? Is that what we're looking at?
Well, that's the natural progression of that. Yeah, a pine tato.
No? Or a potato apple? Potapple?
No, I think they had some of
Yeah.
their best guys on it to figure out that latter
Yeah.
one that you said doesn't work.
Yeah, so we got pine tatoes dropping. I think it said February 10th to everyone that owns a pineapple on Theadrop. And it looks like there's a lot of people making sure that accounts now hold pineapples. the majority of the I think we got to call it the airdrop shuffle we got going on here. You know,
I saw Sochi was factoring heavy
Heavily.
in that. Whew.
Yeah. And I mean, hey, I personally don't care really all that much. You know what I mean? Like any other marketplace that's MetaMask enabled, this stuff would be happening all the time, maybe even worse. You're just not seeing it. You know,
Right.
the only reason we see it is because we have no choice. But hey,
Well, it's good.
get your stuff in line, guys. You know, you got a couple more days. February 10th, we all get pine tatoes, and we see what that drop has in store. I'm not even sure. Like, I'm more curious about like what's the relationship about. You know what I mean?
Same. Rewarding TV too. You know, it keeps getting better, in my opinion.
Oh,
so
for sure, I agree.
So
Yeah, and speaking of getting better, let's go right into that.
Oh, are we speaking of getting better? Are we going to talk
The
about
replay dashboard?
Yeah, replay dashboard. Go ahead, take it away.
Well, yeah, no, looks like they got a nice little upgrade on the dashboard, looking nice and clean. You got your badges, some achievement. Are they tokens? I don't even know what they are. Hours watched and things of that nature.
Yep.
I am a little curious. You know, you and I have both attended our fair share of watch parties, but for some reason, I'm getting no street cred on the watch party here. Even though if you go to the other tab and it's got like a list of like 15 that I attended.
Yeah, I was on a post with that, you know, URP and Swamp Ass were on, and they were first calling shenanigans that I said I had them, and I did.
Yeah.
And then I showed the receipts that I have them. And
yeah,
like,
listen, guys, you know, you're in bigger, but we're in first.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how many people I saw. Someone in Secret Pineapple Discord, I believe, saying like we're the ones that have been like beating these drums from pretty early on.
I believe it was Daz. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Shout out Daz. Thank you.
Daz, big friend of the Pinecast, and he's a definite listener. He's usually a first day listener. So that's a double shout out to Daz.
Yeah. Yeah, no, somebody had mentioned, oh, like I've never even heard of this thing. And Daz was just like, well, I guess you don't listen to Papa Mags.
Right. They must be one of the billions and billions, I guess.
Yeah. You're you and a whole lot of other people.
Right. You're in good company. You're in good company
you're
either way,
great
I guess.
Company. Yes. Yeah. Very smart people. Oh man. So yeah, last week we missed the update on the Symbio Creatives AMA that we had.
Well, you missed because
okay, all right, yep. You're too humble to allow me to miss that.
Well, I think I mentioned shortly after.
And before. No, you mentioned it before too.
I mentioned it before. So usually, you know, ladies and gentlemen, you know, our pals in the 10s and 10s, usually what happens is before we come on, we used to like go into it and it was great, but then we don't know how long to gauge, how long we're going to be on. So we just want to make sure we're covering these different topics. Like, hey, do we have this topic, this topic, this topic? Okay, so we know what to talk about, and I can go down my list and like check it off.
A little pre-production.
Right. We don't like to go into it because then we kind of lose a little like mustard. When we do it. Yeah. So, anyways, we you know, our pre-production meeting, we talked about that, and you forgot about it.
Pre-production
because that was a big AMA, if I recall.
It was. No, it was huge.
That you were on. Were on.
I know.
As a speaking role.
Yes, I had a hand in it, and it was a big one. A lot of questions answered. A lot of questions still forming now. You know, it's like this thing's just progressing pretty nicely, and it was very informative. So I suggest it was all recorded. So I suggest if you didn't catch it, that you make plans to get it, because that was a good one, and this thing's moving right along.
I mean, I'm kind of a fan of, hey, here's the information, go find it yourself. Like, it's there.
It is there. Yeah, exactly.
Instead of keep having to, like, someone has to keep chiming in to say it. And I don't know, it's so fluid. You don't want to just post stuff. And that's why we have like a private Discord, for people who actually own the NFTs. So yeah, the information's there. Yeah, if you have some questions, I'm sure, hit them up. But like,
right.
Same questions were being asked on Twitter. After
exactly. And it's like, you go to somebody's giving a talk about a book or whatever, the author, and you go there and you start asking questions and you didn't read the book yet. You know what I mean? That's what that's what this reminds me of. It's like you have access to all this information. He just went through and answered all these questions. But no, let's make him stop what he's doing to answer your question, because you don't have an hour to listen to all the questions that he already answered. But no, let's make him take time out of his day, even though he's, busier than you are. So
right.
That kind of irks me. I mean, I'll step in once in a while and answer some of these questions, but it depends on the day. If I'm if I'm annoyed, then it comes through in my answers.
Sure. Yeah. So
I'm human.
But it sounds bullish for me, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, for sure. So now me and you had a little back and forth about a Pine issue this week that you happened to notice, and I think it's been confirmed at this point visually.
Yep.
So we got some different colored teeth in the grins here, right? Everybody knew about the cucumber having some yellow teeth.
Yep.
Right. But then if you look, like the gray grin, right? That guy's got some bright.
The
teeth.
gray grin, like the blue grin, they got some white teeth.
Yeah, like, they're using yeah, exactly. But then you're looking at orange grin, right?
Yep.
Orange grin,
it's in between there somewhere.
Yeah, there's something going on there where he's either got an off-brand of toothpaste or
well, and so I brought this up to you last week because there was just some talks and everyone was saying like, yeah, we know that the green grins are the only ones with the yellow teeth, and I said that's not true. Let's just slow it down here. Why don't you like research the facts first?
Yeah.
And come back, and if you actually looked, and now maybe you didn't see them. There's only 37 orange grins in existence right now, so like it's a rarer. It's a rarer head, sure, but it's actually like right there with the Joker head and rarity.
Joker had very white teeth.
Very white teeth, but I think a lot of that's like acid. Or it looks like it's like kind of like pasted on or something. But yeah, so there is a more yellow-ish appearance on the.
It's definitely not as white. That's for sure.
It's definitely not as white. Hold them up to go on to Theta Rarity, and but make sure you click in the picture too, though.
Make it big.
Yeah, so get in there and look at that pineapple, and you'd be like, oh, I guess I was wrong. I think there a little apologies in order, because I never hopped on that bandwagon. Yeah. That bandwagon, they were beating that so much, and I just equal representation with the green grins and the orange grins.
Yeah, and I think what this comes down to is another life lesson for people. You got to be careful when you're using absolutes, right? You're the king of teaching that to me.
Yeah. And here's the thing: is never fully commit to something. One, if you don't have to. If you don't have to fully commit to it, don't, because then you're going to be you could be proven wrong, and then why'd you commit to it?
Right.
Like you could
leave yourself some wiggle room.
But don't say it's the only when it's not. It's not the only. So.
Do you remember the time that you taught me the value of not using absolutes?
I don't know. I've taught you so much over the years.
Let me give you a hint. It had to do with membership rewards points at a certain hotel.
Absolutes. Membership reward points.
We got bounced from our room that you were supposed to have the points on because somebody with better ranking came.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And the woman at the desk was like, "Oh, it always happens. Always somebody with better ranking can come and knock you out."
This is a casino hotel, right?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Yeah, I was like,
and you're just like, yeah, no, you can't. Let's not talk in absolutes here, because at some point the number one person is there, and there's no one that has more than that person.
Oh, well, and I think what happened, so we got like, severely downgraded, right? Because of that.
Oh, yeah.
And,
yes.
and they were like, well, and then, we had a bunch of people, and it was like, well, then, you need some extra like rollaway beds or something. Well, that's another like $100 and something each. I'm like, the fuck it is. I go, I was fine before you changed the game on me. So you're gonna take them off, and they did. But they made it like they were doing me a favor after they just pulled me down the river. So yeah, I forgot about that. I blocked that one out.
That was the day I learned about not using absolutes.
Oh, I must have said that to the person.
You said that to her. You're like, listen, let's not deal in absolutes here, because at some point, somebody doesn't show up that has more points than somebody else.
Right. And I mean, this goes to my normal philosophy where like I don't like, and because like I don't like planning anything in advance like these days anymore for like the last, I don't know, 10 plus years, 10, 15 years, whatever. I kind of just like, you're right. I just kind of show up, or like I maybe get a tentative.
Yeah.
I don't want to commit either way, because so much
we
stuff
don't
can
know
happen.
until day of. Yeah.
Right. Which is also like a Brewer situation, our pal Brewer. Shout out.
Yeah. Shout out. Yeah. Someone that'll never hear this.
Yeah. But what was the point of that? But yeah, so I made those reservations ahead of time, which is unlike me. I got the confirmation, which doesn't mean the email that it was written on. Dude, that's another thing with like confirmation numbers. Like if they're not like, I've gotten confirmation numbers before, and I never like writing them down. And then the one time they ask me for them, I have it, and they're like, "Oh, we don't have that." Well, what the fuck was that? But yeah, just don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Just say, "Oh man, look, I don't know of any other pineapples with yellow teeth like that." Don't commit yourself if you don't have to.
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
Yeah,
unnecessary. So there was a new challenge this week on Theadrop, and it was from one of your favorite collections, I believe, was part of it.
Yeah.
Little creator club action.
Little CC Action.
Did you happen to qualify for that one?
I did. Well,
you did? Okay.
I owned a creators club, and then I went into one of the links that they were posting. And after I commented, I made sure to follow whoever that was.
Okay.
So I get their attention, because a lot of times, they won't give out anything. I don't know, because they're so cool.
So you ended up, did you get the actual drop of the NFT, or did you get the case and then you had to spin the wheel and get it? I
got two. I got one where I got one like actually to me, I think, that had a code.
Okay. Yep.
And then I was freaking out because I was on my phone, and it took me to the Theadrop like coupon code thing. And and then what happened was I'm like trying to paste, and I never copied the code. And then I'm like going into my Theta TV, and I'm like, well, where the hell's the code? And it was on the very bottom. So it went from the top
redeemed
to the very bottom. So then it took a while to figure out how to just copy that the right way. I was like off a digit, and I go, well, I know the digit is 0 or O, and I'll just type that afterwards. When I pasted it in, it wasn't working. I was like, screw it, I just got to copy the whole thing. But I got that, and then I did meet the challenge.
Nice.
But the spin thing, I just got a Tammy emote or badge or whatever those are.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I went on Theta TV and bounced around on a couple different streams that day, and didn't realize that they had been given away. So then I checked my inventory, and I got one, and I got a couple of the cases too, and I opened one and spun it, and I got another one through the spin.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
It's better than opening it and then it's not there because there's no T fuel to redeem it, and then it's gone.
Yeah, been there. I guess they fixed that, but yeah, that was really something special. Yeah. So just back to the Creator Club. So the Theta TV thing was called Surge on
Mm,
Friday, right? Some
yes.
kind of Surge thing.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if you remember, there used to be a beverage called Surge
Oh yeah.
back in the day. Do you remember that?
It was like Mountain Dew and it glowed.
It was
Ish.
like a Mountain Dew Sprite mixture kind of, if I remember properly. But like all of the good sodas back in the day, they had those codes underneath the cap.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking
Yep.
about?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So somehow I won a Surge alarm clock
Okay.
and got it, redeemed it, got it sent to my house. And I'm probably, teenager at the time. I got a younger brother and we share a room and the alarm clock is in the middle of us. First night, we're using this Surge alarm clock and the thing starts going off in the morning. And do you know what I'm talking about? Like, have you ever seen or heard one of these?
A surge alarm clock or an alarm clock?
It's a Surge alarm clock.
Well, I've never seen a
It's
surge alarm clock, but I mean, I've
okay.
experienced real alarm clocks, so I just don't know what
So
you're asking.
this alarm clock, instead of like beep beep beep,
Yeah.
it's like Surge, Surge, and it just is like screaming Surge. And I didn't know, and my brother didn't know. Dude, we're sleeping, and it's like 7 o'clock in the morning, or whatever time we got to get up.
Yeah.
And the thing starts going off, and we don't even budge, and it's just screaming Surge. Next thing I know, my father comes running into the room, right, like with a bat, like ready to beat somebody down, because he hears this thing going nuts, and he's like, "What's going on in here?" I'm like waking up, and I didn't finally like realize that it's the Surge alarm clock. Well, that thing got taken away immediately, and he actually gave it to one of his coworkers that
Oh.
same day, out of the house. And
Ooh.
I was actually over at my parents' house this weekend, and it came up. It still comes up. He's like, it'll trigger him forever. So yeah, Surge alarm clock.
So it pissed your dad up, and it didn't wake you guys up.
Didn't even wake us up, and he wasn't pissed. He was like, he was concerned for our safety. He said he thought that someone like broke into our room or something. So he came in ready to rumble. He was
Right.
But yeah, you can actually YouTube it and do Surge alarm clock, and you can see it's like Surge.
Dude, I'm itching to go.
Surge.
When we're done, that's exactly right where I'm going to look at it.
So yeah, that's what when I saw Surge, that immediately came into mind.
Nothing like that though. I mean, I don't know what's the deal with these drops. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like they're just doing them to do them. There's nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it seems
right.
But I got mine. I actually bought my first Creator Club off the floor just to qualify for the challenge. So
yeah,
there's that
bargain
prices for sure. $8.
Still nuts. But
$8. It was $8 to get two, basically, right? Because I got that one and I got the challenge. So call it $4.
Right.
Yeah, and then Friday night, I had heard last week that friend of the Pinecast, Mac Tastic,
second mention this episode.
Yeah, but he was kind of running his mouth about me and you trying to claim street cred on gambling and not showing up to Zilla Poker Night. So I was like,
really?
All right, I usually by Friday night, I'm just like, I'm done. Like, I'm just so spent. But this week, I was like, all right, I'm going to show up. I am going to make sure that I'm there, and I'm going to play. I'm going to hang out. So I show up, and Mac's not there.
Oh,
he doesn't even show up. But apparently, it's a kind of a big thing, because now Theta Zilla Club, first match of the night, not only is he giving away NFTs, but he's giving away points. There's a new point system. So if you come in third place, you get 1 point. If you come in second place, you get 2 points. If you come in first place, you get 3 points.
Really?
And I'm hearing that the points have future utility to them. So
are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you. We'll see what happens with that. But
so I showed up after you probably got off sometime.
Oh, did you really?
I did, and they were trying to start a third game.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I was like, hey guys, and they already started it. And then I was like, okay, no big deal. And then all of a sudden Goof shows up and she goes, hey, did you guys start? And they're like, yeah. They go, oh, and then Zilla was like, oh, we can make room for you. And they just scrap that game and then put Goofed in. Meanwhile, I'm chopped liver over here, not getting my street cred for showing up. But that's okay. I'm not mad about it. That's fine. But hung out for a little bit, had some chuckles, and then went to sleep.
All right. Well, next Friday, show up at 9:30 and take a swing at the points because your boy showed up and placed second and got 2 points first try.
Oh, there was a lot of your name came up a bunch when I was there. So.
I had a pretty epic. I mean, I woke up. I get there, right, and we're dealt right away, and immediately the bet's on me, and I got king.
Right.
It's like, oh, this is how we're gonna play. I can play I can play this game.
Yep.
And I got all in against Space Brood. Sorry, buddy. And one hand in, it knocked the Space Brood out, and it went from 3 tables to 2. And everyone's like, what just happened? Zilla's like, oh, great. You guys all just joined my table, and Popper's got 4K in chips. What just happened?
Ooh.
So yeah, I got dealt king, and it fueled me for the majority of the evening.
Nice. Good for
Until
you.
I ran into NFT Theta Purveyor 7-7 versus 9-9 at the end, and he just dominated. So shout out NFT Theta Purveyor.
Shout out.
But yeah.
Okay.
Well, not sure there's anything else you wanted to bring up from this rather uneventful week, it felt like.
Yeah, I think that sums it up pretty well.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, we had a really good time this week with certainly a friend of the Pinecast and our first live guest ever, and the winner of the inaugural fantasy football Papa Meg's fantasy football league. And yeah, just a great guy overall, and into a lot of different projects. Our boy JSanch. If you didn't know, now you know.
When can we hear that?
Well, we'll probably hear that coming up soon.
After these messages.
This week's episode is brought to you by Dr. Theta's Community Guardian Node. Theta's premier community guardian node where you can stake your Theta if you don't run your own guardian node. Best of all, 100% uptime so you do not miss any rewards, and 0 fees so you earn 100% of your T-Fuel. Trusted by Theta Labs, you can easily stake directly within your wallet. Simply go to the staking tab, choose Delegated Guardian Node, and find Dr. Theta's Guardian Node. Quick, simple, reliable, and best of all, safe, as the coins never leave your wallet. Stake with the Doc today. This week's episode is brought to you by Theta Vibes NFTs. Hurry on over to Open Theta and mint yourself a Theta Vibes musical NFT before the minting ends on February 15th. Each of the OG collection NFTs allow you to stake and earn T-Vibe token, which you can use to unlock monthly 2D and 3D entertainment. The OG NFTs include Dreamland, Guardian, Flying High, Gimme the T-Fuel, Beam My Line, and Down With Me. So get on over to Open Theta and grab yourself an NFT that provides good vibes and T-Vibe today.
Papa Max, yeah. Papa Max. Papa Max Podcast. Papa Max Podcast.
Hey.
Hey, JSanch. Is it JSanch or JSanch?
Sanch.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, I heard Sebastian say Sanch. I could have sworn.
Oh.
Am I wrong?
It technically would be JSanch.
Oh.
Technically, but what about?
Because it's Sanchez.
See?
Oh, okay. Well, all right.
But
My American
Americans
tongue
and
says Sanchez.
Yeah. White people will say Sanchez, so it's Sanch.
So.
We called URP ERP for the longest time, and he was really upset about it. And I go,
well,
I
you
don't
might
wanna...
have. You might have done that.
You did it too.
Yeah, you're right.
He did it too. But
well, it's because he didn't have the periods after. It was like if it was U period R period P period, then I would have known.
Okay, but the point is, I figured if we're having the guest on, since I'm not involved in the communication piece of of who's on. I think it would be, nice if we got the guest name right.
I
Right?
suppose that would be classy of us. Yeah.
So we're saying JSanch. Is that what you prefer?
There's so many people that have messed it up already. It's fine.
Okay, thank God, because I really like JSanch.
Oh man. Well, JSanch, welcome to the Pinecast, my friend. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Oh, it's good to be here.
I think
joining the 10s and 10s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were our first live studio audience member, right?
Yeah, it was. I had no clue what I was stepping into.
Nor did we.
I had just gotten done with the not to be spoken of happy hour.
Yes, thank you.
He's a listener. That's great.
I am a listener, and I was going upstairs, see what was going on. I don't know what I was looking for. Something was happening upstairs, and I went up there and saw you guys. I was like, oh, and I popped in, and
this is not where I parked my car.
Yeah.
Yeah, and little did I know.
What is this?
One, that the initial recording that I was on would be gone forever.
Ooh.
I think
we actually have that part of it.
No, we have that part of it for sure.
Yeah.
It turned into a different interview all of a sudden.
That was part of the first half hour.
Did.
You were
Yeah, so
that's right.
So 38 minutes were lost. 8 minutes was you. I mean, the other part of the gurus hopped in after, but you were there.
Yeah.
We were talking to you for a good amount.
Yeah, but it was good. It was great to see people come in and just what it turned into. Andrea came in and that was just it was a blast.
No, it was.
And
it was fun.
I was gonna get some popcorn, but I'm the type of person I'll never be the person to open something up.
Oh, dude.
Oh man.
Oh, I wish
you're humble. That's a humble move.
Yeah.
I wish it said something. I mean, it's one of, I don't know if do you have any siblings?
I don't. I was an only child.
Oh, so okay. So the trick. So I'm one of 4 boys, and the trick I would always do is let's say mom went to the grocery store, or mom and dad went to the grocery store, and there's this big bag of Doritos, and I'd be like, "Hey, Justin," I go, "Do you want some Doritos?" He's like, "Yeah," and I would go like, "Hey, mom, Justin wants to know if we can open up the Doritos." To throw it on him. Take everything off of me. And
yeah, that's not obvious.
But that, Popper, did you ever have to do that move? Is that a?
I mean, yeah, you use that move. I had a brother. Normally, he just, my brother has he just right into the stuff. He doesn't even ask. So I just follow along, and he's ripping them open, and I'm just, hey, oh well, my
then
brother
you're the one left
ripped
with
it
the
open.
bag.
With my extended family, whoever ate the last one or the last bit, they get blamed for eating all of it. So you also can't finish anything.
Oh.
That is the absolute truth. You don't want to take the last one. You always want to leave one.
Exactly.
Well,
of course, now when my kids do that, they have a bag of something in the pantry, and there's one chip left, and it's like, who did this?
Yep.
Well, at least there was one in my house, and still to this day, when I stop home, someone just leaves an empty bag or whatever, and so you stick your hand in it. Well, and then you know what? Sometimes my mom, I don't know why she does this, but sometimes my mom, and she hasn't done it recently, but she'll take an empty chip bag or something, and then she'll throw coffee grounds and some other stuff in there, trash, and then so I don't know that, and I stick my hand in there, and then it's just full of nastiness. But yeah, we're just a big mess over there.
What kind of move is that? Wait, and it's in the pantry, or it's
on the counter, and it's been opened, so it's oh, these chips have been opened. I'm gonna yoink my hand around to the back end and grab some, and then I get a bunch of hands nasty on that. Disgusting. But
that's a new one.
Yeah. It's a pro move. So as much as I've been blamed for stuff, mom always gets a kick out of every time I do that.
So what were your thoughts on ThedaCon while we're bringing? I know the highlight was being the first ever live in studio guest, but
yes, after that everything just goes downhill.
Yeah, to say the least, because talk about losing a nice recording and then missing out on apps twice.
Yeah, no, ThedaCon was just surreal because we knew, most of the people there knew most of the people there, except you didn't know most of the people there.
You said that
It's
very
like-
well, and I
Yeah.
followed that.
Yep.
It was like a yogiism.
Yeah, you'd be talking to someone for a little bit, and it's like, hey, I'm Magnum. Oh, Magnum, I know you. Even though I hadn't actually interacted with you guys much before ThedaCon.
Right. Well,
So
we
that
were
was just a
aware
bad
of each other,
example.
though.
But
Oh yeah,
we
absolutely.
were aware of each other. We just there wasn't much interaction.
True.
It is what it is. I mean, there's a
Not
lot
for
of
any
people.
reason. It just there
Not for
wasn't.
any reason. Yeah,
Right.
there was no animosity or hard feelings or anything like that. It was just you get in different communities and you talk to different people, and then I've interacted with you guys a lot more since then. So
Yeah,
Definitely.
no, for
Been
sure.
good.
Yeah, it's amazing. You meet people and it's just like, wow, like, you're cool. Oh, you're cool too. And it's like, then next thing you know, there's like 100 cool people, and it's impossible to just like keep up with each of them. So it is definitely nice to have that experience though of being there together and actually meeting people in person. That I think that adds a lot
100%.
to it. Yeah.
I think it made the community that much stronger. The connections we have with the people is like, oh, I
Yeah,
trust
for
them.
sure.
I don't mind trying to make a deal with you, and I trust that you're going to be looking out for me, and I'll be looking out for you. I'm not screwing you over.
Yep.
it just as a whole to this community that I've been a part of for a little over a year, to put faces to people and to be able to share that time and share life with them for a little while. It was amazing.
I was surprised too, JSanch, when I met you, and I think I might have said this before, but me and you, we see eye to eye.
Exactly. that is true on many levels.
So can we? I'm gonna get into this, Popper, what we were just talking about before he came on.
Yeah, go for it.
So, anyways, you're like a dude or like a major play over in the Mystic Gurus community, right?
I don't know if you would call it that, but yes, I'm involved.
You're involved.
I'm help with
Yeah.
We
the team.
would.
Yeah.
No need to be
guys
humble
for-
here. You can't be more humble than Mags.
Yeah. So just might as well just cut it out. But well, so one thing is I sent my PCG in and sent my request in, which I'm excited about. I mean, it might be a little bit, but I'm excited I finally got that done. But two, we had Sebastian on, and actually, believe it or not, anyone who listened to his episode, I think, got like a college credit for Philosophy 101. I don't know.
I think
don't
3
know.
credits.
Maybe 3 credits, yeah. So anyways, Sebastian put out, and then it was put out, I think, in the Discord, there was going to be a change to the PCGs, and they were going to like move the number order up or do like a random thing. And then there was some backlash on that, right?
There was.
So I was happy because I had some time to go and it would give me a better chance. However, it seemed like the team responded, or Sebastian, whoever, responded pretty quickly. I love how they responded to this. It's almost like a compromise. They're keeping now to the letter of the order, but they're just doing it where you have to do the request when it comes in, or you're bumped, and that's it. So I think it's fair on. I don't think I could have even thought of something, and I'm pretty smart, when it comes to things.
And humble.
Yeah. So
right.
Because then a community member had brought it up of saying, hey, what if we just switch around the order every couple of weeks, maybe once a month? That would get people just excited, especially if you're on the bottom of the list. It's like, man, he's not going to get to it for like 4 months, and then you kind of lose interest. Sebastian was like, oh, this is great. Ran it by a couple of people, and it's like, well, I don't know, maybe it could be good. Then other people were like, oh yeah, this would be really good. So then he just went out and did it, and some people said, hold up, I paid a lot of money to get a top ranking PCG. I'm not cool with this. And then the initial problem was that we had lost the original list.
Okay.
When he deleted it, he did not save a backup copy. And
Ooh.
so we were scrambling there for a little bit. We were able to get that back, and the way it works now is he's going through the list pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And if you miss your chance, you get bumped to the bottom. However, if you send in your request early, when he gets to it, or if people don't call up when it's their turn, he's going to go to the next person on the list that has actually sent it in. So, like you said, I think it's a great compromise. It's a great way to keep people interested and engaged, and you have to be on the lookout because some days he turns out 3, 4, 5. So it's good.
I mean, JSanch, is it unethical if I cut this part out actually? So people, I mean, I don't want people to put it in so I can get my PCG sooner. Would that be unethical?
No, you can cut that out.
No.
I got.
I'm tempted. I'll have to think about it. In the editing process. So, okay.
Yeah. I actually need to get one of mine sent in because I recently bought one that was ranked a little bit or put up a little higher on the list, and I still don't know what I'm going to do for it. So I need to get it in.
Well, Popper, 1 second, but I'm gonna let you finish. But question is, so what happens if somebody who's you're behind the line, they do somebody else's, then you just have to come up with something else?
Yeah, or a different variation. So
gotcha.
Yeah. So like, if it's a Mario throwing a fireball, which I think is one we've seen,
Mm-hmm.
you would have to do something that's distinct.
Mario throwing the ice ball.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I actually asked that question because I have one too, and I'm a little farther down the list, and I'm just nervous. I don't want to send what I want in, and I don't want it stolen before it gets to my turn. You know what I mean?
Understandable. Yeah.
Yeah, but who's going to steal it?
Did you want to share what you were gonna?
No. I mean, if somebody, I told Popper what mine is because I was super excited.
And he's ahead of me in line.
And he has no clue on what it is.
None.
I'm sure.
None.
So one, I would be shocked.
Forgot.
Yeah, I would be shocked if somebody guessed mine. And then two, I would be furious if somebody guessed mine because there really wouldn't be another variation on that one that I could see.
Ooh,
I guess that's not a good hint. That's not a good hint.
Shocked, furious. No variations.
No, but that is probably one of the coolest things that the Mystic Gurus that we've done is that we have the opportunity to create your own whatever you want, and so it doesn't even have to be Theta related. I think Space Brood, if I'm not mistaken, just had one done of his little kitten that his little daughter loves. So
nice.
So yeah, it's I'm letting my kids choose a couple of them, whatever they want, and I'll get them made.
Oh,
so
cool.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Do you have any like anything new that we're not tracking with the gurus or anything?
Not really. So the gurus right now, we're focusing on, they had the couple sales, we did property sales, things like that, and the community really wants to see those things come to fruition, delivering on what we've already sold, kind of, which makes complete sense. So that's why Sebastian's really working on those PCGs. We're doing some stuff on the properties behind the scenes to get those out and to get the property deeds out as soon as possible. But, I think any project is wise to deliver on what they've already given the community before we start going off into other directions. Because there's a lot of exciting things we'd like to do, but we need to focus on keeping everybody happy and giving them what we already sold them in some ways.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You got to go in phases so that these things, they grow roots, and you don't want to. It's cool to have the excitement of all these different things, and honestly, I think there's probably a lot of people that are also looking forward to this card game that is being made out, but with other things that have already been put in the hopper and paid for, then yeah, I can understand that you want to follow through on that first before you open up a new chapter.
Right, 100%. We don't want to tell people to buy cards when they haven't received their properties or their PCGs.
Yeah, absolutely. So you said you've been a community member for a little over a year. Did that start right at the beginning of the Pine Drop, or were you on Theadrop a little before that?
Oh, so Theadrop, I guess it's been almost 2 years then, because I Dan from the Mystic Gurus, he got me into Theta T Fuel and was just like, hey, if you're interested in any kind of cryptocurrency, I'm in on something I think is going to do really well. And so he hooked me up to get me started with a little bit of T Fuel. And I wanted to thank him when Theadrop first was releasing, and they had the hoodie and the T-shirt, and along with the little Theta-Zillas. And so I was like, you know what? He gave me several thousand T Fuel, which at that time meant a lot more than it does now.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I want to thank him. He wanted one of the hoodies. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to go in and get one of these hoodies. I didn't know anything about NFTs. I'd heard the word NFT, but it didn't mean anything to me. And so I pre-funded for the hoodie, the T-shirt, and I got some of the Theta-Zillas, and I ended up getting both of them.
Oh,
and then
wow.
He got the hoodie. I don't know if he got the T-shirt, but he wasn't interested in the T-shirt. So I didn't have to give him the hoodie. I got to keep it. I still have the NFT for that. And then then that day, because my wife was just like, you just spent $100. What are you going to do with that? I sold that T-shirt for $100, which was really cheap at that time. I think those T-shirts ended up going for like $300. So I made my money back, even though I couldn't take it off of Theadrop at the time.
Right.
And that kind of started me on NFTs and Theadrop. And so I did a lot of flipping of NFTs to get me to the pineapples. And so when I actually felt like I joined the community was a few weeks before the pineapple drop. I got into the pineapple Discord. And I'd never been a part of any of the Discords or anything like that before.
Yeah.
And so then that's when I got started talking to people and really getting the excitement. The excitement for that first drop was unreal.
Oh, it was huge. Yeah.
And, there's people who are like, oh, I hope everybody in here gets one. Not everybody got one. And then the second drop, it went crazy. Yeah. And through only flipping of NFTs, I think I was able to get like 10 or 11 containers.
Wow.
That second drop. And so anything I've done with NFTs has been, I haven't put much extra money into it. It's been just flipping from the beginning, whether it was pugs or frogs or anything that came out. Because that the Theadrop, it was up until the Tygons, everything sold out within like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It was just like a mad dash. Yeah, it was a lot of fun building that, and we're in a different time now. But
yeah, for sure.
And then I guess becoming a moderator or an SSS guy for the pineapples, being just really involved in that Discord. I had some downtime at work throughout those first couple months. So I was on the Discord a lot, and the Discord actually is what convinced me to open my first container, which ended up getting me the Crazy 8.
Right. Yep.
Because it was the night before the second drop, and I was like, I don't know what I should do. Some of the containers were selling for almost like $3,000, and $3,000's a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
And so I was just like, I could sell that and then get a bunch of other containers or just cash out. Either one. But just the excitement of it all and FOMO, I opened it and got a guy with a Theta hat. Then the next day, I think Wes was doing the live stream, and sure enough, he called my name for the Crazy 8, and I went nuts. It was awesome. So
wow, that's sweet.
Yeah, I just have the community to thank for that, and that early SPS community was something special. Just with a lot of you mentioned him a few weeks ago, Truman, and some of these other guys that were just wild theories coming out and just speculation. But it was just a lot of fun because it was just a new world. This was the first generative NFT on Theadrop, and it was the first thing that looked like it had some kind of a future. So it was a wild time, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that Discord back in the day was like you couldn't have a conversation. It was going a mile a minute. Like it was impossible. It was
all
crazy.
day, every day.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I would ask Popper, should I, because he got me into Pines, should I get into the Discord? He said, absolutely not. Don't do it. He
there
didn't
wasn't
tell
much
me,
of a yeah.
He told me, and so this was my first NFT experience. The only time he recommended that I join the Discord was when the Pine games were happening.
Yeah.
I mean, so far that's been the only time you had to.
Right. True.
Which the Pine Games was an adventure as well. I ended up getting second that one time,
Oh,
and it was a
Oh
a
wait, I
very sad
remember that.
defeat.
Literally, right? Because you kept crying, right?
Yeah,
What didn't
I cried my way to the end. It kept giving me
like
a
4
pass.
or
It's like,
5 times or something. It was crazy.
yeah,
I remember that.
it was I was excited. It was good. It was fun. And for me, the biggest thing with the Pine Games was I wanted someone that was involved in the community to win. I think that's
Yeah.
with any of these giveaways.
Yeah.
It's you get some random person that wins it that
Yep.
you've never heard of, and then they just sell it, and it is what it is. I don't mind anybody selling it. You know, it's good for them. They
Sure.
won the NFT, sell it.
It's theirs. Yeah.
It's theirs. But it was more of just I'd rather one of you guys win it, or someone that we know of that's been a positive contributor to the community.
There wasn't very many that fit that bill during the Pine Games that won.
No, I think it was maybe one.
what about?
And I don't remember.
You talking about somebody? You talking about? Okay, can you say that again?
The
somebody
Pine Game winners.
Yep. Well, that one guy, he doesn't chime in much, but he still has his the Jason Fergie, is it?
Yep, Fergie.
He seems
Yeah,
like pretty chill.
Yeah, he's decent, but he was a complete unknown at the time.
He only
for
had
me
the
anyway.
one. He only had
Which
the
is
one.
fine, and I think that was a good win. That was ended up being a good win. I'm glad he got that.
Krampus,
Exactly.
the guy who got Crampine, I believe.
No, that's a woman, but that was
sorry, as I
that
was.
that was Christmas. That was a Christmas giveaway.
That was a
No,
Christmas
but-
one. Yeah.
The
But-
milk and
Yeah, but they still have that, and they have the
Oh,
one
yeah.
pine that they got, right? And the person who got the Pilgrim, who won the Pilgrim, they sold the Pilgrim,
Yep,
but
that
they
sold.
still have. I'm pretty sure they still have
The original turkey leg.
the original turkey leg as the one pine they have. So you know what I mean? Like that's pretty
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and that's good. It just I guess my rooting interest was it's fun to be able to get behind someone and just
That
be
you
like,
know the name, yeah.
that we know. Yeah.
You're a big Sugar Baby fan, right?
Oh yeah, huge. That was a big win for
That was
for Team
huge.
Pineapple.
No
Oh,
comment.
man.
Good take.
Yeah.
Good take.
I tried to delete Sugar Baby from my memory.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
What a shame. What a shame that was. But
What a shame.
what are you gonna do? Luck of the draw. That's what happens.
Well, okay, just time out. And I know I've brought this up before, but while you brought up the subject of Sugar Baby, I mean, technically, I think I did, but Sugar Baby was the one. And tell me if I'm wrong. Actually, I know I'm right. So don't. If you tell me I'm wrong, I'll say you're wrong. But that whole resurrection thing happened twice for Sugar Baby.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
that last
Yeah.
one is still shenanigans to me because
Right.
that
She
action
came back
shouldn't have
after it was
happened.
already
If
won. Yeah.
if the two people left and one person kills the person, then that ends it. And then all of a sudden, resurrections. There should be no resurrections this turn if there's only one person left after the fact.
That makes
now,
sense.
if Sugar Baby resurrected before the other person killed the other person, okay, I'll give it to you, but not after the fact. Come on,
Right. There was one person left, and then all of a sudden there's two.
Then it's a winner. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Right. Like maybe a patron should have given him some water, and the other person went camping in the wilderness or something, and then Sugar Baby resurrected. But yeah, I don't like how that went down, and then I don't like how it went down after that, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. I remember a whole lot of squealing about nonsense, and then a couple hours later she wins. It's like, oh, cool. That's
But
awesome.
the cool thing about the Pine Games was, when somebody won, it was like nonstop. Like, oh man, everyone was so excited for the winner in the Discord. Congratulations. It was kind of cool to see. And then, I mean, not the Duncan afterwards, but
No, but it did. I mean, because there had been a lull, and even some downtime in the community, and so that kind of revitalized things. And I think they started every day noon, or for you guys probably 1 o'clock.
they changed it. The
Yeah,
first
the
week was
first
at
week,
noon,
yep.
and then on Eastern time, right? Or 1 o'clock Eastern
1
time?
p.m. Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, the international people were upset because there was it was like a 5-minute window to register, right?
Yeah, something quick. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was at like 1 or noon. Is when the pre-register, and you had 12 hours to do it.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. I just love the way it got a lot of people in the community involved. I think there was usually at least 400 people that had logged in to participate. So it was
Yep.
good. So I mean, those are the types of things that projects need to continue on. And despite what people think, it takes time to develop things. It's you'd never think
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
getting into the world of NFTs, it's a week is like 3 months time in regular things. Like if I'm building a
For
house
the
by
retail
myself,
eyes, yeah.
yes, yeah. If I'm building a house, it's going to take me some time to pour the foundation, get the framing done, drywall, the roof. All of this stuff that's being done, especially on most of these projects, has never really been done before. So when people are expecting things to happen overnight and are pissed off because it's taking 3 months or 6 months, regardless of how much interaction people have, right? I mean, there are some projects that have more interaction, some that with less, and it's both are different ways of doing it. There's not necessarily a right way. I know some people prefer one way, but it takes time to develop things, especially if you want something good. If you want something crappy, that's fine. We can put something out in a week or two.
Right.
But I think, and also with the limits of Theadrop, people don't take that into account.
Yeah, 100%. There's so much that is going on that people just have really no idea about. It's like the things that they're looking for are, in a lot of instances, completely out of the control of the creators of the projects from Theadrop.
That and getting paid.
That's part of it too. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. It's funny because when we had Imagine Replay on, Chris and Dan, they're trying to solve the problem of content providers and creators getting paid in a timely manner, right? So they're using the blockchain to fix this. And then meanwhile, we're on Theadrop, that's part of the ecosystem. It's kind of like having your cake and eating it too, or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a reason why. I'm not going to go there, but it's kind of silly to me. But I mean, while we're on Theadrop projects, I think there was one other one that I remember you being kind of a part of, at least a little bit, that we had on as a guest one time, and that's the Imaginary Friends.
Yeah.
Right? Did you help out with that one a bit?
A little bit, yeah. They had a lot of questions going into their drop with Theadrop, and just a lot of things going on in and around it. Theadrop related type things where maybe things don't go quite as planned, but their team is phenomenal. I don't know if you've been on their Discord lately, but they're still developing, they're still working on the project, even though it didn't sell the way they hoped it would. They haven't abandoned it, and I just saw something where they're working on some augmented reality things.
Yeah, I saw that.
So,
I saw the @ from you, which actually reminded me of this. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's one of those things that they dropped probably at one of the worst times they could drop. It was just really unfortunate with everything going on with Theadrop, where a lot of the community is just burnt out and not wanting any more projects, but they're doing a lot of really good things. And I don't have much contact with them anymore. I'm still in their Discord, and I'll talk to them every now and then, but I know behind the scenes they're still working on things. They want to get this out and see it through. So if you haven't checked it out, it's an easier project to get into because the entry price, I think I was looking at them today, I think you can get in for $20.
Yeah, no, and we had them on, and they're definitely super nice, the three of them, and we
talked to them a lot longer than that episode, probably as long as that episode was.
A little after little after hours with Papa Mags.
Yeah,
nice.
But they were super, super cool. And I mean, it got me to the point where I don't know if I had maybe one or two, but I went out and got a couple more just right then, because it's like, they're the type of people that you want to support. Like it's that, they're in it for the right reason.
Exactly. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean, that's my philosophy with all these projects where I want to be able to support whoever I can, if I can, if I have the funding for it. Like I said, I'm not wealthy by any means, but if there's a new project going out that I think has even just a chance of being good, there's some that are. I think your last episode you mentioned the Golden Knights third drop.
Ooh,
I don't have really any interest in that,
yeah,
just because I need to see something from them before
Same.
I
right,
put any more
right.
money in. But even with like Ivory Jones, where I tried to get in the first drop and I wasn't able to get in, but I bought some stuff aftermarket, which doesn't really help them. But this drop, where they had the longer selling stuff time,
Yeah,
I came in and just knew through meeting him and his family at ThedaCon. You mentioned some of the highlights. Seeing how they have turned that project into a family affair where they're getting everybody involved, I think it's really beautiful that it's not just Ivory working 80-hour weeks where his family's not involved and it's just his thing, but his wife's helping, his son's helping, all the
yep.
kids are involved in some way, and it's really a part of their family. I think that's really awesome, and so I think I ended up buying. It's not a lot still, but I think I bought 3 or 4 chambers
Nice. Yeah, and we
just to
actually,
help.
and yeah, I mean, like you said, they are. It is a like that is a family project, and it is really cool. And we actually had a little business deal this week, which
We
it's
did.
like one of those things where I felt completely comfortable just because I had met you, and now I feel like I know you now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
that was
it's 2
cool.
projects. The Tygons, that's another one where I think Theadrop just dropped the ball on that project, where it's John Heater. I think they banked on him being able to sell everything out instead of focusing on the team and their experience. Because when that first dropped, I think I got about 8 of the containers,
Oh
um,
wow.
and it's one of those things where they're still building an incredible project.
Yes, they
Um,
are.
and it's if you would have been able to look at the team and what their background was in and what and before they dropped, they laid out kind of what they were looking to do. I think a lot more people would have bought into it, but there wasn't really much information out there except for the Napoleon Dynamite style type art, which is
Yep.
not for everybody, and I think that's fine to say.
Yeah.
But I think the more that it's around, the more it grows on you, and
For sure. For sure. I completely agree with that.
it's for me.
Yeah, I would just say I agree. I agree 100% what you're saying about that. But like a lot of NFT art isn't for everyone. There's a lot
Oh,
of weird stuff out
Sure.
there.
Oh yeah.
Right.
exactly. Yeah. No, and just they dropped it a rough time too, where people were burnt out once again, and it's just Theta Drop hadn't done anything to advance up to that point. They're just it seemed to me as if they just banked on
They're
everything
used to
sells
selling
out and
out.
everybody's happy. Yeah,
Yep.
Right.
everything sold
Exactly.
out within 30 minutes, and everybody was really happy. And so the problem is the same 2,000 people that were buying everything were buying everything, and they weren't bringing anybody else in.
Yeah.
So yeah,
100%
so
on
I think
that.
that's a fun project to be getting in, and the staking should be out. They said first week of February, and I know Popper,
Here we
you're
are.
how you are,
Start the timer. Let's start it.
Yeah. So,
but
you kind of reminded me here, both the Tygons and Imaginary Friends, I think they suffered a similar fate because of the pre-sale. I don't think in either case they should have, because both of the pre-sales went, obviously, it was like 10% of the drop, and that got sold out right away. And then
right,
it was just too long until the next tranche of sales where like the emotions died down. And then by that time, everyone's like, oh, well, it's cheaper. And back then you could buy this stuff on the marketplace before it sold out. So I really feel like the pre-sales hurt both of them. I think that if they just would have went straight to main sales, they both would have done a lot better.
I agree. And actually, this might be off the record, but during that time we were talking with Theta Drop to drop there, and that was one of the things I had mentioned to the guy we were talking to, was just that you can't sell things during a pre-sale because it's going to, or you can't allow people to sell NFTs while the drop is still going on
Oh,
because it
gotcha.
just
Yeah.
kills it kills the projects. Yeah, that, and if you have a pre-sale, you need to have a strategy for why that is going to launch people into the next sale, whether it be
Yep.
some kind of an incentive or whatever it is. But there can't be too much time in between, and there needs to be a sound strategy of why you're doing it and why it's going to help people want to buy into more, to get into more.
Yeah. Yeah. Those were, yeah, exactly. So, now they're just like everyone's running on a Steam, T Fuel's taking a hit, and, the pre-sale thing, it just, there was a lot of things that could have been done differently. But, at the same rate, both of these projects are still developing, they're still working. And I'm, still excited to see what both of them have up their sleeves for sure.
Yeah, no, it's a testament to both the developers, and it's really great to see that they didn't just leave, which would have been, I think, really easy to just say, "Hey, we're done."
Yeah.
We didn't
Yeah.
get much help, and we're just going to be out of here. So, yeah.
JSanch, JS, as I like to call you right now. So I know there was a tweet the other day, last week or so. I know you tagged me and Popper in about the Theadrop prices. Do you want to talk about that?
I'm surprised you're bringing this up.
I'm okay. Well, you know what? It's not all about me. Like, just because I have one opinion that is nobody else's opinion, apparently, doesn't mean that you don't have an opinion, and it's your opinion is just as valid.
All right. So Theadrop pricing. Now,
Yeah.
just let me get this right. Theadrop is a product of what cryptocurrency? The Theta network.
Is it a product of the Theta network?
It's under the umbrella of it's under the umbrella of the Theta network, correct?
I don't think, if you have an umbrella over, like electrical running stuff, that's not a good idea.
Here we go.
But because that means there's water and you don't want to get that wet, especially with servers, right? I don't think.
You definitely don't want to get
we're
water
indoors.
wet.
So we're indoors. So this
Okay.
umbrella, although it might be some bad luck, Theadrop was developed by the people of the Theta network, correct?
Okay.
And the Theta network is trying to encourage people to buy into, adopt this technology, which currently runs on the Theta token. You have T Fuel as a currency on there, and you have Theadrop for. I'm not really sure what Theadrop's for, but we'll leave it at that. And so
there's not enough time to get into that.
Yeah. And so you want people to use these things, and you have it available, yet you're allowing people to, which I think is okay to allow people to post in US dollars. But I was telling Popper the other day, as we were trying to work on our deal, I was like, I don't care about necessarily dollar value. I care about T Fuel value.
I think I told Popper, or if I didn't tell Popper, honestly, I call BS on that completely. Because if stuff was priced, let's say you got in Bitcoin in the very beginning, and then there's a Bitcoin NFT market, and now Bitcoin is worth $60,000. You don't think you're going to value Bitcoin at 1 cent different than Bitcoin at $60,000? Of course you are. You are. There's no doubt about it. So
that's a really drastic example. So, here's an example that I'll use right now.
Okay.
Last with the symbiotes, I saw on Theadrop Rarity that the final rank of one of these fuse guys was going to be rank 25, and I said, and it was on sale for pretty cheap. It was on sale for about 5,000 T Fuel. And so I went out and I actually borrowed 5,000 T Fuel from somebody, a generous person in the community. And I ended up paying them back when I was able to get the funds, plus interest, a decent amount of interest. I gave them back 5,500.
Ooh.
They didn't ask for that.
Loan shark.
They didn't ask for that. I think they would have been fine if I gave them back the original amount, but So I have that guy on sale because I decided I want to pursue other things. I don't know if the rank is great, so this might be just sabotaging myself. But I put 5,500 T fuel into that guy. I would sell him for 5,500 T fuel. I don't care what the value is because right now I'm wanting to gain T fuel, and so if T fuel goes up to $1 per T fuel, I would still like to get 5,500 T fuel. The market usually will adjust. Who knows if it would adjust to that extent? Like I said, that's another drastic example. But I'm looking to recoup that 5,500. I don't know what the dollar amount was on that guy, and I don't think of it in those terms. That might just be because I'm used to Open Theta, and Open Theta runs mostly on T fuel. You can see the dollar amounts on the side, but it is a T fuel platform. So I use T fuel to judge the cost.
Sure, got it. But I will say that, okay, and this is my opinion. I don't have any data to back this up, but I think you were careful to choose your words on stuff basically that you may have seen me say, which is good on you, I guess.
I don't watch you that closely, man.
Well, I guess. So let me say this though. So Open Theta is great. I like Open Theta, but you're not going to convince everyone to get a MetaMask or set that up. It's not going to happen. Okay. For the people that are involved, yes. Now, the thing about Theadrop is, like I've mentioned before, easy onboard. I don't know how many times I've freaking said that, just way too much, but it's easy onboard to get US dollar onto their platform and purchase. And honestly, I don't think Theadrop would be as successful if they didn't have that. So they're operating in a legacy system like the US dollar, just like all other websites, based in the US are operating on. I think what I'm saying is Theadrop itself wouldn't be as successful as it is if it was T fuel only. So
I didn't say it had to be T fuel only, but let me list. And if I want to sell something for 5,000 T fuel, and today it's $200, and tomorrow it's $12.
Yeah.
Let the person buy it for $12 tomorrow. If I would choose to list for sale for T fuel or US dollars, for all of their drops, they can do either one.
I got it, but let me just say my thing, and I think I've said this before. Is I think the growth of Theadrop is going to be based on getting more people into it that aren't in crypto. It's almost, and if you get into it, then you might get into Open Theta. Then that's going to help you on your NFT and crypto journey, right? So it's almost like a bridge. But then you're going to have people that are fine with using their custodial wallets and keep buying and keeping stuff on there. Now, I don't think it's fair for these people now who just want to purchase stuff. Now, they're not able to purchase anything because they're using US dollar, and all you T-Drop maxis are just listing everything in T fuel only. So one, that's not fair to them. And then two, the opposite is true, where if now, okay, let's say you're just someone who's putting US dollar on there, and you there's something you want to be, you want to buy, it's this price. And I know with the commission, if I sell this NFT for this amount of money, then I'll be able to buy that. You list it, then you get T fuel for it, and then T fuel goes down. Now you're not able to purchase the thing that's listed in US dollar. Do you see what I'm saying?
Nothing's listed in US dollar only.
I'm not US dollar only, but so the person who's only has US dollars are getting paid now in T fuel, and then the T fuel goes down. Now they can't buy what they want because the person listed it for for like a US dollar price. So let's say they set the price in, like you're saying, you want five.
So why can't Theadrop allow people to post for US dollars only?
Here's my thing is they gave people the right to get T fuel only by having this BS T-Drop token.
Right. So get rid of that.
And now you guys want, the world's not enough. You just want everything. I don't think we should.
Well,
I don't think
they should be.
What's going to end up happening is what's going to happen anyway is they're going to leave Theadrop and post it on Open Theta for sales or someplace else. So then why are they nuking their site to justify, JSanch and Popper, and the rest of the Get Along gang, so they could, get what they want. I like how Popper's silent this whole time.
We've had this conversation too many times, and
Okay.
your head's too thick.
I just care about the little guy who's getting their first experience into NFTs via Theadrop,
but I think also the
aftermarket
is really difficult for people to get into. When Pines were at the height of Pines, I think the floor Pine was like $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're not going to get a casual, you're not going to get a casual person to come in and buy a floor Pine.
Maybe.
Okay, maybe, but not many. It's not going to be a lot of people. But they're just going to be like,
okay, but what Popper said is though. Popper said this to me before. He says Theadrop doesn't care about the aftermarket sales; they care about getting the sales on the drops. So it's not a bigger piece of the pie, as it were, for them.
Sure,
they care about the drops way more than the aftermarkets, because when do you ever see them boast about aftermarket sales? They're always out there posting, oh, another successful drop. Remember, like all the time.
Yeah, but you can look at the top sales on Theadrop, and
I don't care.
That's big.
It's not. But look at their Twitter. And tell me what they care about more about, just based on what they post.
They care about those.
It's not
Golden
rocket
Knights.
science, because it's sold out.
The Golden Knights sold out.
Well, we can talk about how it's
miraculously
sold out, but that's a different story.
All right.
That is another story of how they went from 500 a day or two before the thing closed to selling out is a great mystery.
Well, I think we all know what happened without having to say anything, but we see you.
All right.
The other part though is Theadrop being a custodial wallet is going to bother people at some point as well. Like for people coming over from Ethereum OpenSea, they're not going to be okay with that. So there's several things.
Well,
many things that Theadrop needs to work on.
I agree, but also like OpenSea is full of scams, and I'm sure they're not happy about that, but they're not changing anything about it.
No, because they're making their money, but Theadrop at some point is going to stop making money.
But look at some of these, like all these like Fremantle NFTs that they're putting out. That could be interested to somebody who just wants to buy a Price is Right thing. You know what I mean? I could see that, and I don't think they would care to have.
I have an honest question for you.
Okay.
Why? And I bought a Price is Right NFT. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but why would anybody be incentivized to spend their hard-earned money on a Price is Right NFT, or a Golden Knight NFT, or a Katy Perry NFT?
Well, the Golden Knight and the Katy Perry, I don't know. They convinced the people on Theadrop to buy the Katy Perry NFT. You know, they didn't like we said, they didn't.
It's still the front page of Theadrop. I'm looking at it right now. Coming soon.
Well, because it's coming soon. Right. It's coming soon.
But given the history, what the Price is Right NFT, I don't remember.
It wasn't overly expensive. It wasn't like the Knights, that Golden Knight pack. The first one was like $100, right? I think that was way too much.
That one sold out though, real quick. That was because sellout days. Because
they're going on hype, and but like they lower the price. Like didn't all those like fail armies, those sold out? And
Price is Right sold for $25.
$25. That's not breaking the bank, and you could win a Plinko
But for some
ship.
people, it is
$25.
Like $25 is a lot. Like in the crypto world, I've had to readjust my thinking. Like crypto and NFT money is not real to me, because in my real world life, I would not be throwing around $300, $600, whatever it is, just like it's nothing. But in real world life, if it's $25, I'm gonna be like, never in my life have I spent $25 on anything to do with Price is Right. I don't know if I would pay $25 to be in the studio audience for Price is Right, even if I had the chance to get picked. So like, there's where the disconnect is like, we want to bring people in, but $25 is not nothing.
If
In the
it's
crypto
not,
world, it's nothing.
it's not nothing, but it's not something either, though. I'll just say that.
Like
Yeah,
I
no,
said, it is. You just have to reframe your brain because especially with the pines. I could have at one point sold all of my containers and gotten $25,000, and that would have been amazing. That would have been life-changing money for me. I didn't, and it's still I still have money invested in this and in this platform, but to think like, yeah, that's life-changing money, but it's crypto money, so it's not real. Like it's weird. It's a weird dynamic.
It is. Have you have have you? I think there should be a rule on Theadrop. If your name is T Fuel only and you buy stuff in cash, I think that should be illegal. You shouldn't claim T Fuel only and then buy in cash. I think that's disingenuous, and I think there should be some kind of penalty for that.
I'm good with that.
Okay. Well, we agree on a lot of things.
Circle gets a square.
Circle gets the square.
We're seeing eye to eye.
So let's get out of the mud here a little bit.
That'd be good.
We definitely missed the opportunity to bring you in properly on the show because I just had a light bulb go off that you are the fantasy football champion of the inaugural Pine Fantasy Football League. So congratulations, JSanch, on that win.
Thank you.
Nice
Thank
one.
you.
Well done. So are you a fantasy football guy, or was this kind of new for you, or like this format was very new for me?
This format was new. I've played fantasy football for a long time, since the 90s at some point.
Holy snap.
I'm not one of
Wow.
those people that's been like late 90s. I'm not one of those people like 99, late 90s probably.
So you were
I'm
looking
not one
at
of
the
people
newspaper to figure in, like, adding up. I'm serious.
Then not that early. Not that early. There was internet. So as soon as the internet was allowed.
No.
Yeah, not newspaper old. I'm not that old. But I remember at some in and around that time, I went into high school in the year 2000. So it was around that time.
2000.
Cut it out.
But yeah, so I played. I'm not one of those guys that is in like 15 leagues.
Yeah.
Right now I'm only in one. I
Okay.
think the most I ever did was like 5 leagues.
Yep.
We've been there, right, Pop?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It can
It's
be
rough.
a time suck.
I mean, it's not worse than fantasy baseball. I think I'd still rather do 5
stop.
fantasy football leagues than one season.
Well, but the problem with 5 fantasy football leagues is like you're rooting for and against the same person.
But
exactly.
That's the worst.
no, I mean, it is yes and no. I mean, it makes you a bigger fan of the game. I think I enjoy football more because of fantasy. Now.
I mean, only if you're winning. Like if you lose, it infuriates me. Am I the only one that gets furious about losing?
You can't win them all, man.
I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm used to losing.
Oh, see, there we go. So how did it feel smoking goofed at the? She was trying to keep up with you, but she couldn't do it.
I wasn't as worried. Was it? What was it? That was.
Oh, you weren't worried
Theta
about
Fueled.
her. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah. Right.
Yeah. She was further along down, and actually, the thing that really I got a little bit worried about. Now, real life tends to trump anything. Was that last game where Damar Hamlin got hurt and had his incident? I had 3 players playing that night, and I was thinking I was going to build up a pretty big cushion. Thankfully, I didn't need it, and thankfully, Damar Hamlin is fine. I wasn't worried about once that happened. I honestly didn't really care about winning the league or anything like that because life is way more important, obviously.
Yeah, sure. Obviously. Yeah.
But then the way that it worked was I was still able to play anybody I played in that game because I didn't get any points for those guys.
So
yeah, either
tell
way,
me.
I ended up winning and I had a pretty comfortable lead at the end, so it all worked out.
Did you have were you just going by your gut? How did you play this kind of format? Like what was your key to success?
I can't give away all my secrets.
Well, you got to give some of them away.
I'll give some of them away. One, it's a long season, so you don't want. Well, See, I'd like to try a few strategies. The one I'd use this year worked, but you want to make sure that you go through. Like, I didn't want to use. We'll use quarterback for example. Whatever. I'll give away the secrets. There's 17 games, and basically, I used a pool of 9 quarterbacks. That's all you needed because each quarterback could play twice.
Right.
And so you want to look at the matchups, see how they're going to do. Some guys are always going to be ranked, if you use any of the Yahoo rankings or anything like that, which aren't usually very good.
The same week over week. Yep.
Yeah. So, like Josh Allen's always going to be at the top. Patrick Mahomes is always going to be at the top. But just look at those rankings. Look at like the weather. So if it's an outdoor game in December, you might not want to use one of those kickers. Just things like that. But just using a pool and then spreading it out. So like it gets a little bit more complicated with the running backs and receivers because you had to use 2 of those each week. And so you had to go a little bit deeper into that. And so pay attention to injuries. If there's a guy that's injured and his backup is usually a decent running back, but he's going to be the main back, throw them in and you make that be that week for them. So it's just a little bit paying attention, but I probably spent maybe 10 minutes a week, 10, 15 minutes just looking at those types of things. And then I'm a big NFL fan, so a lot of that knowledge comes in because you're in tune to what's going on.
So I haven't been paying attention as much to the NFL the last few years, but I did do this. I thought it was fun. And my main strategy was just to use the best players before they got hurt. And it didn't quite work out.
That's the other thing. Yeah, but if you would have used Lamar Jackson. Why am I blanking? Yeah, Lamar Jackson. It's a brain fart. If you would have used him early in the season, you would have gotten a lot more. Like I ended up using him once. It was not a good week for him, and then he got injured, and so I only used him once.
Yeah.
Instead of being able to use him twice early.
I was trying to use up the good guys while they were healthy. And then if they got hurt, then start using the replacements. But.
Yeah, so I think especially this format, it's so different. I don't know what the best thing to do would be because like I missed out on some people because of waiting. Like I made sure once we got to the end of the season, I had some of those guys lined up of who and when I wanted them to play. But for a lot of those guys, it was just not dependent on who the matchup was, and I lost my.
Well, either way, man, congratulations. That was
thank you.
A nice win. Happy for you. We knew most of the people in that pool, but hey, it was a good pull. So you got a SPS NFT off of Theadrop or off Open Theta, right?
Correct.
From the ThedaCon drop. And then you were also in the T-Fuel pool, so you took that down. And I believe that Doc Theta, did he throw in a Theta Punk too? Was that the case?
He did, yeah. And I didn't.
Nice.
I missed that memo, so that was a great surprise, especially because I had burned all of my Theta Punks.
Oh wow! Okay.
So I was down to 0, and then maybe I had bought one more after I didn't win anything, but I had burned the 3 or 4 that I had.
Gotcha.
So it was nice to recoup one.
I just have a serious question for you. I don't know what Popper's answer on this would be, but if you got a bye in the playoffs, okay, would you take Jessica Simpson to Mexico instead of, working on practice?
Definitely not.
Definitely not. Good call.
Why Jessica Simpson?
Well, didn't Tony Romo take
bro.
Jessica Simpson?
Oh, yeah.
Your boy, Tony Romo?
He's underrated.
I'll listen, I will give this guy credit. Like, he calls out plays, like, as an announcer, like no other announcer does. I really have some respect for that guy.
But we're talking about, I think we're talking about quarterback play.
I'm not talking about quarterback play.
Okay.
I'm talking about in the booth.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
He's been and he just has a kind of a unique style. I think I find it entertaining, but I've been a Tony Romo fan. But as a player, he was underrated. I think if you go back, like there's a lot of big moments where the Cowboys did not break through and overcome. But a lot of the times, the only reason the Cowboys were in that position was because he played his ass off. And so that's all.
Wasn't he just supposed to hold the football?
Ooh.
For the
That was in the very
ooh.
beginning of his career against Seattle, that playoff game. Yeah, that was unfortunate. But that's what people remember is those things. They had a shootout against the Broncos towards the end of his and Peyton Manning's career. And it was just back and forth. And I think he ended up throwing an interception at the very end of the game. And that's what people remember instead of all of the plays he made during the game, which is the only reason they were even in the game. So
you're only as good as your last fuck up, is what I've been told.
So you're
Do you
real
have
good.
a team?
What's that?
Do you have a team?
I got teams. So anyways,
Teams,
Hopper.
yeah.
Oh,
Who's doing good this year? Oh yeah, that's my team.
That's bullshit. Bullshit.
Well, thank you guys. Yeah, you guys are great. I enjoyed listening to the show every chance I get. I had to listen to a couple this week because I missed last week's and had to catch up. But I'm honored to be able to be on, and I'm not sure why you guys picked me, but hopefully it's entertaining to the 10s and 10s.
And we're so humbled to have you.
Yeah, no, it was
JSanch.
great to have you, man. You're an awesome community member, and that's what we're just trying to get the community some exposure because there's a lot of really cool people out there. So,
and meeting you at ThetaCon really helped.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That was it. Was I was able to talk to Popper for a little bit, but Mags, I was able to talk to you for a little bit longer, and seeing eye to eye, and it was it was good. No, it was. I've told several people that that was one of the highlights for me was getting to meet you, and now I still don't understand why your wallet and phone briefcase
oh boy
is so necessary.
Let's lose everything at the same time.
I got everything all at once.
But it does make sense because you've obviously kept everything that you've ever received in there, including your original Blockbuster Video membership card. So
2006.
like you don't let go of things. Like if anybody asks me who has diamond hands, it's this guy.
When they come back, I fear resurgence of Blockbuster in the 21st century, and you're gonna wish you had your card still. So all I'm saying,
it's gonna make its comeback in Web3.
You know what? I think it might.
Blockbuster NFT drop. NFT cards.
There you go. All right,
man. Well, hey, listen, thanks again. We don't want your wife to get upset at us, so we'll give you your night back. But we certainly appreciate you joining us, and it was a great time, and it was a pleasure to get to know you better and
setting the bar high.
Thank you, guys.
Very high.
All right,
man. Have a great night.
Have a good night.
We'll see you soon. We'll see you on the boards.
Sounds good.
All right.
Adios.
Awesome.
Later.
You have been listening to the Pops and Mags Pinecast. Music provided by Sushi Cat. Like what you hear? Send that cat a treat at feedthecat.theta. Pops and Mags is a Scumbag Hat production in association with Kyle's Hot Tub.